Now, the Ghana National Association of Teachers is asking heads of schools across the country, as well as district directors of education, to cut the pretense and paint the exact pictures and situations that exist in the country's schools. The association wants them to speak in order to put pressure on the managers of Ghana's education to act to save Ghana's education. Speaking at the 6th Quadrennial Delegate Conference of GNAT at the Asin South districts, the association says the schools are like ticking time bombs waiting to explode if the situation is not addressed holistically. Here's Richard Kujanyako's report.
The Ghana National Association of Teachers says it's about time heads of the country's schools and directors of education began speaking for the true pictures of the schools in the country to be known. According to the association, the heads of schools and the district directors of education in the country have pretended for so long, and their silence and pretense may lead to the collapse of Ghana's education system. Central Regional Chairman of GNAT, Dr. Isaac Owusu, says teachers and students continue to suffer in silence and bear the brunt of the mess that has been created. He wants such silences broken to pile pressure on the managers of the educational system to fix the problems.
It is not the duty of GNAT to produce textbooks. It is not the duty of GNAT to produce infrastructure, working materials. That is not our core mandate. But today, we have our leaders of this country telling us, yes, not do something, including our own members. When we have left the employer, staying somewhere. Teachers are sick and tired of the austerity measures being meted out to us. You see, we cannot continue remain silent when all of us here, including, it's unfortunate, our directors, are aware that all is not well. But we are pretending to presume that, oh, we shall overcome. All is not well. We have to admit, you see, if you have an education director who is not being given allowance, but at assembly, we have other equally head of departments that when it comes to, in terms of qualification, the education director is far ahead of those head of department, but they are enjoying allowances. But the director is not even getting a fuel. And we want to pretend. We cannot pretend. If the director is not getting allowance, how much more the CISO? If all is not well in GES, we are asking managers of education of this country that fix it, so that we'll all be free.
Asin South chairman of GNAT and a member of the National Council of GNAT, Roxanne Boateng, says teachers are being treated unfairly as government has failed to upgrade those that have gone for further studies.
The key problem, in our view, has to do with upgrading for teachers. Teachers who have pursued their first degree after completing their diploma and they have gone for further studies, obtained their BEd certificates. Some have been told that they have to wait for 7 years before they are upgraded. In fact, we have over the years highlighted this issue over and over again. Reforms have been introduced and we need training on same. We expect that teachers are trained and all the necessary resources, textbooks, curriculum and all of that are provided for us so that we're able to deliver the expectation of the originators of that reforms. So for us, we'll be very happy if these issues are addressed.
Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Dora Francisca Edubuando, called on GNAT to sit down with the employer to address the challenges militating against the sector.
There are many issues confronting teachers and the association now. I knew it before I came here, and the chairman also said it, that teachers who pursue further studies are not upgraded by Ghana Education Service promptly. I am tempted to believe that that has been resolved because I do not hear that song these days. But if it is the current situation after so many years, then it is worrisome.
The teachers want an immediate fixing of the challenges bedeviling the education sector to save it from further collapse. Richard Kujanyako's JoyNews, Cape Coast.
And on the back of this, let's speak to Dr. Owusu, Isaac Owusu. He's the Central Regional Chairman of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. A very good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us here on News Desk.
Good morning, Mama V.
Great. So first of all, how widespread are the challenges you speak of?
Yes, let me thank you and say a very good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners. Yes, if you look at the challenges that are confronting us as teachers in the country, they are indeed widespread. You heard from the district chairman who was talking about the delay in upgrading of teachers by GES. This issue, teachers in Central Region have lamented for so many years now. Teachers who had opportunity to do their own further studies with GES approved program at the various universities in the country, after completion, some as far back as 2014, to date, the employer has not been able to update them. And here we are, God willing, next year, come 2022, the first batch of the colleges of education now are coming out with first degree, which implies that those teachers are going to be seniors over the real seniors they are going to meet on the field. These are the challenges. Now, if you look at our seniors who completed their work and they are on retirement now, we start the implementation of the Act 677, the new Pension Act. Senate is supposed to give the state retirees past credit. And Mama V, it will shock you. The past credit of someone who started work from 86 to 2009, the 31st December, was 5,000 Ghana cedis. And there are a lot of challenges in terms of accommodation. We find ourselves in a very hard-to-reach area. You go, there is a classroom structure there, but where the teacher will lay his or her head is a problem. So that is why we are calling on the key stakeholders together with the employers that they should listen to the plight of the teachers.
So why do you think that the teachers themselves, the directors of education, those at the helm of affairs, why do you think they haven't been able to speak up?
Yes, that is a challenge that is confronting us as citizenry of this country. You see, we seem to be pretending because the headmaster feels that, oh, if I speak, either my superior will question me or will transfer me. The director feels that if I speak, I'm going to be warned. The teacher feels that if I speak, wahala. But we all know that there are challenges confronting us. So if people are unable to speak to the issue, it means we are not doing a good service to ourselves as a nation and then to ourselves as a profession. That is why we are encouraging our teachers, including the directors, because every director is a teacher. So where there are challenges, can we all come together as key stakeholders, identify the challenges, and try our best as to how we are going to solve the challenges? This is what we are calling for.
But thankfully, they have the association, so they can hide behind the National Association of Teachers, for instance, and make the challenges known. So now that you're familiar with what is confronting them and the sector essentially, have you brought it to the attention of the Ministry of Education or the Ghana Education Service?
The leadership of the teacher unions, let me say NAT, NAGRAT, CCT, we are in Central Region. We are not the apex in terms of the structures. We have our national leadership, NAT, national leadership, NAGRAT, national leadership, CCT. And we are much aware that all these concerns are before the table of the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service.
As a parent, I am concerned about how all this is impacting on my child. So how is that affecting learning and teaching?
Yes, if the teacher who is going to teach your ward or your child has completed university since 2014 and has submitted his certificate to the employer to upgrade the said teacher, and since 2014 to date, the teacher has not been upgraded, definitely you know that this teacher will not be of himself or herself. You see, if the teacher is finding it difficult to get a means of transportation to go to work because where the teacher has been posted to is a very hard to reach area. There is no accommodation there. We know, and we've seen some of your documentary that where teachers are posted, and some have to even cry. And so these are the challenges that indirectly will affect the children that we are teaching.
Mm-hmm. So if we want to begin to resolve the issues, where would you say we should begin from? Because obviously we can't tackle all these challenges that you've outlined at the same time.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying that I am happy the minister, Dr. Educhum, at our lunch, NAT at 90, he made mention that he has created a desk solely for the teacher unions. So we are expecting that desk to be functioning, and so that our leadership at Accra will also be giving us the feedback as where they have reached, so that our members at the grassroots will know that, yes, the unions are doing our best.
So to the parent who is worried, really, because if you're dealing with all these things that you talk about, then what are you passing on to them? Should we be worried?
No. You see, what we are supposed to do, of course, I'm also a parent, is that we should all come on board as stakeholders. Because you see, once we are in a country, not all of us can send our children outside the country for education. So we need to make sure that our education system, if not 100% better, at least 50-60%, so that we'll be comfortable. Because you see, the challenges that we are facing, and when head teachers speak or headmasters speak and people are attacking them, then if we also remain silent, then it means our children are going to suffer. We can keep quiet and just pretend that all is well. The children will pass through our hand. They will go and say, well, we have done well. But the quality at the end of the 3-year secondary education, at the end of the 3-year basic education, the quality, are we going to get the same? So that is why we are calling that at least the leadership of the education in the country should quickly rally on board all those concerns and all those matters, so that we can have a roadmap that will help us taking the challenges one by one.
Well, thank you, sir, for not pretending and speaking up on this matter. We've made contact to a Deputy Director of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Kwabena Tando, who's promised to speak on this matter and more tomorrow. We will bring you that when it happens.